Spin them up. Welcome, everybody. We're going to start. Is it on?
Yep, you're good.
Okay, brand new year, everybody knows, and I want to make a note up front. We don't have a microphone. Can you hear me?
Yes.
And so we're going to try to project, and in the end, we may end up getting a microphone system in here because some people trail off, some mumble, and even I'll trail off, and so I don't think, he did not to say that, Lucas. So anyway, welcome. I am Bill Kanda, a Custer County Commissioner. This is the Board of County Commissioners meeting Wednesday, January the 15th, 2025, and it's 9 o'clock on the button. Silence your phones if you've got them. As a matter of fact, I'll do the same. Meeting's being recorded by Kelly and on Zoom as well as on YouTube. So we will begin the meeting now, and please stand for the pledge.
Repeat after me, please. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Please be seated.
Please join me for the invocation. Lord, we just thank you for this day, and we thank you for the people that reside here, that are our community of citizens. Lord, we just pray for wisdom, guidance as we lead and guide and listen to the citizens that are reside here in this county. Lord, I just pray that you pour out your blessing upon this county and upon the people that are in it. In your name, amen.
Amen. Thanks. Roll call.
Commissioner Kanda.
Here.
Commissioner Epp.
Present.
Commissioner Vogelsong.
Here.
County Attorney Dan Slater.
Here.
And Clerk to the Board Kelly Camper present.
Thank you, Kelly. Okay, amendments to the agenda. Well, excuse me, audience introduction first. Start with Jim.
James Gilbert,
Justin.
Justin Kirk, Regional Director for Congressman Patterson.
Jim Chaplin,
Robert Smith, Human Resources.
John Van Dorn, West Cliff, Marty Newell, Rural,
Joe Downs.
Jim McMahon.
Come on, and I'm not sure who's on, I don't think we are on. Are we on?
We have anybody?
Did it come up? Fine.
We're online.
We're online, anybody on? If they do speak, we'll get a name. How many are there?
4.
4?
Just run through the names, please.
Go ahead.
Rock Lane, Debbie, Christine Landfill, and me.
Okay, good, thanks. Okay, any amendments to the agenda?
None for me, sir.
Rock, Paul, you got anything? Agenda okay with you?
I've looked at it,
Everything else?
we're good.
Nothing to add.
Not yet.
Okay. Oh dear. Approval of the minutes. You go. And then I saw. By the way, that was yeoman's work at the end of the year. We caught up. Commissioner items.
Let me go first.
Yeah, go ahead.
Zoomed into the TPR meeting, that's our transportational planning region. Most thing to note there is 69 North, safety improvements and shoulder widening is on the docket for 2028, but has not been funded yet. So we'll probably need to put some focus on that, make sure that they don't forget us here down in Custer County. Because everything is 50, 24, 115. That's where the focus is for that group. Attended was all zoomed in on the Region 15 special meeting for the opioid region. They are, we just went through kind of 5 proposals. 4 of the proposals got approved by the 8 voting members that were present. and one got voted down. The one from Denver got voted down. Otherwise, everything that was within that region, those 4 counties, was approved. It's all for treatment. That opiate money comes from lawsuits with pharmaceutical companies. So attended the Fair Board meeting Monday night. They're just getting their planning ready for the new year, and Caitlin is now off of that board, and they're looking for new Fair Board members. So one person, I believe, is maybe interested, and so they'll submit a letter of interest to us. Yeah, that's it.
Okay, thanks, please. Paul, you got anything?
Not yet.
Okay, a couple items. I was at the Upper Ark Conservancy District meeting on Thursday. Good meeting. They're starting the year off. I asked them to come up here as soon as we can, set it up after probably in February. Bring a status to everybody up here, put a presentation together on what they're doing with Lake Deweese is a good example, and raising the water line on that potentially was a project they're working, as well as what their plans are for the augmentation for the rest of the year, and what the geology looks like underneath this valley, so you understand what's going on. It's a good thing. Also, Ken Baker passed away. He was the lawyer for a long time for him, and a member of the Upper Ark since to listen to Terry Skanga, who was the former director. By the way, Greg Felt took over as the director in that meeting. He was a commissioner in Salida, Chaffee County, and is now the director for the Upper Ark Conservancy District. And a good addition, everybody knows, great. But Ken Baker passed away, and that was a neat meeting to be at. I wish everybody could have attended, because I heard a lot of history back from the 30s on up on the history of families, the water projects that have gone on, and it even affected some of the action here in Custer County. So it was very informative. And so I'm glad to be a member ex officio in that. It's a very good place to be. Also, the airport heater, and I wanted to talk to you aware of it, maybe Matt's been out there, Carver. The heater, for whatever reasons, gave up the ghost, working down, and we're worried about it because the water pipe's freezing, as well as the fire truck that's based there. So I think he's got it going now.
He talked to me, and he said he was gonna talk to the plumber.
Yeah, I forget who it was. So that's going on. Oh, and then a few things. As we get going in the new year, as we've got a new place to meet now, but we'll be looking for some office space for commissioners to be meeting in. We've never had an office, a single office. We've used the boardrooms, and we're going to try to make it as convenient as we can to be able to meet with people, have other conference rooms to meet in as well. So we'll be working on that. Some ideas. We'll be tossing that. And then the next meeting, we don't have time on this, and of course the main part of this, we've got 4 options today items, and we've got to select the chair, vice chair, accounts payable resolution for capital budget, and then Justin will be here to speak a little bit. Next meeting after that, we will be looking at all the boards and the managing commissioner's responsibilities in the next meeting. So, okay, that's all I have. Any questions? All right, with that, how about Commissioner Attorney items?
I just
Mike, welcome back.
Thank you. Thanks to everybody for their patience as I've been dealing with some medical issues the last few weeks. We talked about a resolution to disband the recycling committee.
Yes.
And so we should probably have that on the next agenda on for the board by the next agenda. Could have had it today, but it sounded like you guys want to keep the meeting shorter, so
Yes.
add it.
If you can't hear us, pipe up, because we want to. We will project.
You're all mumbling. you asked if there was a question. When are you guys meeting next? When is that?
Next week, Thursday.
Every Thursday, except the ones we say we're not.
Right, exactly.
Other
That'll
than
be
the first week of the month, we'll always
And-
have a bye.
And it's kind of scheduled for here
Yes.
right now.
Yes.
But you're saying you're looking for a permanent building to house the commissioners?
No, not, well,
What
eventually,
did you
yes.
say?
Changeable.
Yeah, we're looking for office space to meet with people.
That's what I was
And it's
asking.
very, and in the past, as we've been using boardroom, but like if I'm in here and then somebody comes in and talks to me and then Paul has a meeting, it's just.
And it could be separate from the courthouse and
Yes.
that area?
Right. It
Could
could-
it be a standalone place?
Right now, for example, my office is I have a good home office and I use that and then I come to meet people either there or we can meet in town. And I'm looking at several spots. Lucas has some ideas as well.
Sometimes I use the basement, even though but the basement was largely used last year because we had 3 elections, so
It's
kind
kind
of
of awkward.
yeah. So it's just kind of wherever you can. So.
And we meet in the SAR building, we'll meet wherever.
Yeah.
But so far, it's gonna be scheduled for this.
Yeah, the BOCCs will be scheduled here.
And then that helps HR and the finance department.
Yeah, they needed privacy, busting in there when the finance guys are doing their job, the HR person, as
Got it,
Bob will attest, it's tough to keep things private. People are parading through.
The only other thing to add to that is we will have meetings in Whitmore also. Those are on the agenda.
Yeah, they are. Yep, you're right.
Got
That would be at the community center. Every.
it. Perfect. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thanks. You got anything else, Dane?
No.
Caitlin? Okay, we don't have any unfinished business. New business would be the reappointment of the BOCC chair and vice chair. So I would propose personally, this is my proposal to vote, I would like to be the chair, and I would propose and make a motion to have Lucas be the vice chair.
Can you speak up, please?
I propose that I would be the chair, I'm gonna make I would put that for consideration, that I be the chair and Lucas be the vice chair for this next year,
I'm in training.
and he's in training. And so I would move that we consider that, approve.
I will second.
Delivery.
Okay. All in favor? Paul?
Aye.
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 Public comment,
I don't think that's,
you're voting on something,
all right, but that's not.
It's a motion you're
As far as I know,
voting
and
on.
I don't know.
We can have it.
But public comment is fine with me. Go ahead.
okay. First of all, let me say I'm not exactly sure what power, if any, or what influence, if any, the chair has on the commission, but let's assume that it does have some. I'm rising to discuss the unfitness of Bill Kanda for chair, in that I believe he doesn't have the interests of all citizens of Custer County in his actions. For instance, Resolution 2117, which he brought forth on September 8th, 2021, as a private citizen, was a blatant political, personal resolution to declare the current President of the United States a traitorous individual. He wrote that in the context of the people of Custer County, which included then everyone that disagrees with that position. It was a political resolution, as evidenced by the fact that the original treasonous president was never addressed by a resolution for his actions on the 6th of January. In addition, the private citizen bringing that resolution voted on it as well. That strikes me as a conflict of interest because, as you know, private citizens don't have the ability to participate on votes on items they bring before the board. Had that not been allowed, then that resolution would not have passed and I would not have this to talk about. In addition, he foments the election fraud conspiracy, additionally known as the Big Lie. He illegally called a unilateral special meeting to promote this, bringing individuals that supported that nonsense with no presentations on the integrity of the election, so it was totally unbalanced. Therefore, those people in the county that believed in the integrity of the elections are not represented. In addition, in regular meetings, he supports the conspiracy positions. He argued in a meeting as chair that the Wet Mountain Tribune should not be paper of record specifically for what they published. That's a blatant violation of the First Amendment. It cost the county $50,000, and we were lucky it didn't cost us much, much more. And then, in addition, in a double-hatted operation with respect to the COVID epidemic, he continually talked up hydroxychloroquine, ivermectin, those snake oil things. He promoted early opening and county businesses, putting most of the elderly in the county at risk for COVID infection. Now, how do I know that he doesn't support the entire, or doesn't work for all the county? He told me so. In a meeting where we were discussing that resolution, and I said that you can't drag me into that resolution, he said, I work for the majority. That means not everybody.
Thank you. Any other comments? Yeah.
Yeah, Jim McMahon. Mr. Gilbert, thanks for all that, because that's perfect. Bill, thank you though for standing up and what you did, because a lot of us didn't see it through your eyes as well as our own eyes. And to say some of the stuff that he said has already been proven that you were right. And I just want to say I appreciate you. So I guess I'm the side that you represent. I'm a Republican and I voted for you. And we believe for those standards of life. And to stand up against weirdness that comes along during our time when we're here on the planet. Because we got plenty of it going on. We got plenty of it going on right here, right now. So I appreciate it. I hope you stand strong, and I believe you'll be a good chairman. You are 6 years into this, I believe. Seven years. Lucas has got a huge learning curve out of the way. He got through right into a big old pile of financial chaos. And that was one of the things I wanted to bring up. I kind of hold you responsible for a big part of that. Not knowing what was going on in the bookkeeping department. I am going to say that. And I think we've kind of turned the corner on that. But I think we've got a long ways to go to get that upright, to get it really straight. So, and I know it wasn't your lane. You were never in that lane. That's the other thing I want to bring up here. The three of you are very important to the money in this county. You can't delegate that responsibility away. You can't vote in a county manager. You can't do any of that. You are not going to be isolated from the voters. It's not how this political structure is set up in Custer County. Thanks.
Thanks for comments. Another comment?
John Van Dorn, I'd just like to get some clarification on what the powers and duties of the chairman are. And possibly our attorney could speak to that. But certainly any of the commissioners, I would assume that the chairman has some leverage and control over the agenda for every meeting, but I don't know that to be true. So what is the process? What are the responsibilities of the chairman? Why is it important? What are the statutory limits of the chairman's power? All three of you and our attorney can speak to that. I appreciate it.
Well, the chairman obviously runs the meeting. In terms of the agenda, any commissioner can place any item on the agenda they want to place, so that's not something that's controlled by the chairman, but just in terms of running the meeting, just, deciding who can and can't talk. In the past, controlling the time limits, that kind of thing, that would be up to the chairman. The chairman also, to the extent authorized by the rest of the board, would sign any documents that indicate the county's position, or, for instance, deeds, when the county grants property to somebody, which we've done, a few times in the past year. The chairman of the Board of County Commissioners is the one who signs those deeds. They may sign any other official document, again, that is authorized by the board, where all three board members don't have to sign everything. That's essentially the role of the chair.
I agree. I did, as a matter of fact, in preparation for this meeting, called up some people at the state level, and talked about what are the statutes. The statute is simply this meeting has to occur on the second Tuesday of the new year, and a chairman is appointed. The chairman is responsible to run the meeting and ensure that the will of the board is, the body is carried out. That's it. And you can, as he points out, we have the power to delegate certain things to people on the board. We could, in fact, decide a certain level of spending authority could be given to one of the commissioners or not. There's a lot of flexibility. And we have always had our own internal rules, as long as I've been on the board, that we will put anything on the agenda that a commissioner brings forward. And it has to go through the commissioner to sponsor it. So if you have something you want to talk about, get a hold of your district representative and get it on the agenda, and we'll decide what to bring forward. Unless and we'll look at it to make sure it's not something that's going to be a time-consuming thing at a certain time, and we'll schedule it to be fit in certain meetings. That's my job. So I look forward to doing it, look forward to continuing. I enjoyed the time I had as the chairman before, and I'm doing this because I do care about the county. I don't have an agenda. I listen to people on bringing up items, whether it be election integrity issues. I'm all for listening. I don't care what side of the coin. I've sponsored that before to make the right decision, to bring the right data to this board to make the right decision in a representative republic. That's what we are, and we represent the people of this county. All of the people, and I am the commissioner, Jim, or anybody that knows, I represent all of you now, period. The other two commissioners. And then that's hope that helps.
That does help, thank you.
Okay. Debbie?
So I know that Paul and Lucas are attending a commissioner training. When did you attend a commissioner training?
Initially, when we went back to CTSI, I have made personal contact with the guy that actually does that training. And I talked to him yesterday, again, about, I talk to him all the time about what's the right thing, what can the commissioners do, what are my responsibilities. From the day that I got onto this job, his name is Dennis Hunt, and if you want to, I'll give you his phone number. He offered to come up here anytime and discuss that. As a matter of fact, I think both Lucas and Paul have been familiar, and they're going back now. He gave the training already, and this stuff that they're going through now is another option, another part of it on some financing.
So when did
CTSI.
you attend a training?
I just told you.
When did you go for a few days and attend a training?
I have gone through it in
When?
many times through the years I've been here, at more length than you sat in a room where they listed up a slide on the thing and said, here's the things you've got. I know a lot more in depth on a lot of the statutes as a result of that. And they'll tell you in the training, here's where you go, here's the statutes, here's what we can do, here's what we offer to assist you as a commissioner anytime. I've taken advantage of that many, many times.
But you can't give me a year or a date when you were.
2016, whenever I came in, the first time I ever came in, I asked.
Okay, so 8 years ago.
And continued training on the job. So there you go.
Will you be a team player,
I am a team player.
according to you?
Many other people you can go see.
We'll be watching, Bill.
And I'm here. Thank you. Debbie. Anybody else? Any other discussion? Anybody online?
I'd like to add one thing. Lucas and I will also make sure that this is a team
Right.
effort. Okay, we've talked about that. It's a team, it's decision-making, and it's our responsibility to make sure that team actually stays a team. And I hope you're a big part of that.
Right, and I've talked about this with many people, it's a weird elected position, because most elected positions, there's one position, whether it be mayor, sheriff, assessor, governor, president.
Mayor.
So we run as individuals, to be part of a team, and this is the team that's been elected by the constituents that we have here, and so it's my goal to work together to get the business of the county done first and foremost.
Along those same lines, and we're going to get into it later, is what does that mean? It is different than a normal government job with people assigned to you or in the military or even at the state level. There's one CEO, that's the three of us. There are vice presidents of the corporation, of the board here. Each commissioner has responsibilities as a vice president for certain people in the county, employees that work for us directly or through or as we represent the other elected officials to provide the necessary infrastructure for them to do their mission. So that's the team together, and my intent always has been to make the whole corporation of entire county employees one team, and they all have to understand the big mission and how we all play together, no matter what your job is, whether it's sheriff or assessor or commissioner, to complete the missions of the county government to serve the people of this county. You are our bosses, all of them. Which is different. We don't work for the governor, we work for the people.
I'd like to just add one thing that our lawyer mentioned is that the chair runs this meeting. Okay? And everything comes in from the three of us to the agenda, and then that is what we do during the meeting. And it's not just one of us running the show, basically.
Right.
It's all three of us as a team, and the agenda's there. And if you have anything to input, that's what we have districts for, is to bring that to your commissioner in your district, and we bring it to the table.
And it's very important to have that information. That's why I was mentioning the offices for us to meet in, so we can meet with people in the district, or we represent, when we're elected, then we represent all the people, but it's nice to have a focus on the people that you brought up forward in the district to be on this board.
Right, we represent.
And so that's why Paul will be down there in Wetmore, and I'll bet he'll be meeting with people down there. Lucas is up here as well, representing his district, and I'm here for mine to come in and talk to me, as well as anybody else in any other district that wants to come in and meet separately. Privately.
Online.
Who is it?
Good.
Online, go ahead. Who is it?
Is that me that's up? Rob Klein?
Go ahead.
Yeah, I appreciate what you guys do and everything like that. We might not agree all the time, but overall, you guys are doing a great job, and I stand with you guys. I mean, it's a hard job, and you got to take the abuse from the public from time to time, but I'm with you guys 100%.
And Rob's one guy that projects very well. Thank you, Rob. Okay, with that, any other comments? Nothing else? Okay. All in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. So let's move on. Accounts payable, I did look at that. You guys got a copy?
Yes.
Go ahead.
The big things on here are the 2018 Dodge Durango. We paid it off, so correct me if I'm wrong, Vernon, but we have one lease payment left now on an existing vehicle with the sheriff's department. The other thing that was on here was big item was $6,000 for CIC payroll personnel, HR training for our staff. And CIC is our HR finance software. And then the 2005 Trailblazer belly dump in the amount of $22,000. So those were the big ticket items. Everything else was pretty typical business. So.
See any? Got a motion? And the bottom line is 132,547.
Great.
I'll make the motion to pay the grand total of $132,540.77.
I'll second that motion.
And that was for the report dated what?
Plus the $38,824.71 of what just came through in the last 2 days. That were mainly those large ticket items.
Repeat that figure.
38,824.71.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to accept the EP report that's presented.
Correct.
Sum total $132,540.77. All in favor, say aye. Please.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Next. And Vernon, you're up. Why don't you talk to it?
Good morning. Next on the agenda, the resolution 2501. This is basically a resolution.
Speak loudly.
Pardon me. This is a resolution appropriating the funds from fund balance for the capital improvement fund for that belly dump trailer that you see in front of you. You approved the purchase last week. This basically is bookkeeping to make certain that all the funds are available and we stay in financial compliance. So we'll be moving $23,000 from fund balance of the capital improvement fund into a specific line item for road and bridge capital improvement in the 50 fund to defray the costs of that capital purchase.
That's correct.
Any other issue, any part?
Now we approved the purchase of that trailer last week.
Yeah.
And did you get to see it, Paul?
The trailer? No, I heard about it.
I'll send you pictures.
Okay. We don't need, but we still need to ratify it.
So we need to vote on it,
We need a vote.
Oh, okay.
So all in favor of ratifying this?
Nobody's.
yeah. And nobody's, yeah, we just haven't a motion yet.
Oh, we need
I'll
a
make the
motion.
motion to approve resolution number 2501, resolution for supplemental budget and appropriation for road and bridge.
Yeah, I'll second that motion.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to approve the appropriation for the trailer. As presented, any other questions, any points? All in favor, Paul?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Go ahead, make it so.
All right.
Okay, Justin, this is why everybody came.
You poor souls, okay. Well, good morning, Commissioners, thank you for having me. As I said earlier, I'm Justin Kirk, the Regional Director for Congresswoman Brittany Pedersen of the 7th Congressional District. I just want to share a few updates with you all, and if I start trailing off into low volume territory, please.
I'll give you the thumb.
Everybody will.
Thank you. Okay. First and foremost, I maintain the Canyon City office at 611 Greenwood, just north of the county building there. So if you're ever in Canyon, you want to stop by, I hope to be there. Days like today, the door is locked. I'm the only one that staffs it, so you may miss me if I'm in one of the other 6 rural counties in the rural part of the district. Chaffee, Lake, Park, Teller, Custer, Fremont, right? Okay. Later today, or here in a little bit, I'll be going to the Mount Carmel Vets event and listening into issues brought up there, sharing some updates like I am here. And then from 3 to 5 at the Kirkpatrick Bank Conference Room, I'll be holding mobile office hours. I think some local media might have said the Congresswoman would be there. That's not the case. It's staff today. And I'll get to the reason why the Congresswoman's not here today here in a minute. A couple of updates on few Silver Cliffs and West Cliff specifics here. The Silver Cliff zip code bill was reintroduced moments ago in the Congress, so we look to have I think Congresswoman Boebert back on as a co-sponsor, and so it's got bipartisan support again, and we hope to see it progress well through the Congress here. There is a request still for the city or the town of West Cliff to have some water and sewer infrastructure investment sent their way. That is as a part of the FY25 budget, which of course we're not yet to. We're still in a continuing resolution extending the FY24 budget. So once those discussions get underway, we'll see that we're going to continue to fight to see that project maintained through the bill and to the President's desk whenever Congress can come together on the budget. Shared some. You brought up Upper Ark. I wanted to share also that one of the investments authorizations. Important to differentiate something here that the Congressman was able to get through and onto President Biden's desk and got signature was a provision for the John Griffin Regional Reservoir project. The differentiation I want to make is that this is an authorization, not an appropriation. So it's been budgeted but not paid for. And that would establish a reservoir just on the south side of 50 in Canyon City. However, we're also interested in hearing more about the Deweese project as in the next couple of years, the Army Corps of Engineers will again be coming around and asking for considerations on projects. So we're looking to engage on that. Something else that's taking place, although not in Custer County, it will serve Custer County veterans, is that we're continuing to hold the VA to their commitment for FY26 proposal to put a clinic in Fremont. Location to be determined, of course, but the last we heard from the VA is that FY26, it'll be part of their proposal to the President's budget, and that FY27, we should see doors opening, assuming it goes through, okay? And then lastly, let me make sure I haven't skipped anything here. Yeah, so lastly, the Congresswoman finds herself, although Congress is in session, Congresswoman finds herself in Colorado, restricted from travel, while she's expecting her second child. She's in her latter part of her 8th month, early part of her 9th month pregnancy, and although she's still allowed to introduce bills, she's not allowed to do voting by proxy. You might recall those proxy voting was taken away after COVID was subsided and proxy voting. So, however, the Congresswoman and some Republican co-sponsors are on a resolution to bring back proxy voting limited to new parents. So, people who are either giving birth or looking to just spend time with their new child, just come to this world, they would still love to be able to, perform their duties as a member of Congress and vote, but by proxy in those limited circumstances. So those are all the updates I have for you, but I'd be happy to take any questions you might have or messages back to the Congressman.
So the zip code bill, I heard that was just kept going due to all the communities that kept piling on
Which is
wanting zip codes, just like Silver Cliff wanting theirs back.
right. You're right, Commissioner. During the last session, the 118th Congress, the bill passed out of the House, was in the Senate, and Senate co-sponsors were the ones that were saying, we like it, but we've got communities offering feedback that they too would like to be on this. There wasn't time to do that before the end of the year, so they said, bring it back, let's do this, get some more communities on there. So that's the direction we hope it's going.
Does this do anything, does this put any kind of mandates or requirements on the United States Post Office to open more post offices? Is there cost there that we're gonna incur through that, or what's?
I don't know. So I don't think that any location that has a zip code is required to therefore also have a post office.
Okay.
But I can still ask that specific question.
Okay.
That's in the bill.
I'd just be interested in is that, now we're gonna have 2 post offices in town? Because I don't know, so
I'll ask.
it'd be an interesting.
From what they did before, they didn't.
Okay.
They had 2 zip codes, and they
Ran both of it this way.
and they used to have a post office in Silver Cliff. It's but when they combined them, the post offices got combined, but the zip codes didn't.
Okay.
They did away with zip codes.
Okay.
So I don't know. I don't like the fact that to get a letter across the street, you go to Denver first, and it comes back. It's crazy. I don't know why they can't. They would rather pass the mistake on to somebody else that mismailed it, and we get that a lot
Right.
easier.
This has been some time ago that I heard this from somebody in Postal Service, but the only facility, or the only facility with the equipment to
Sort.
well, it's not just sorting, but like detecting hazards on these
That's probably
mail
some,
pieces.
well, times
in
have
Denver.
changed because they started pushing a bunch of poison through.
Yeah, exactly, and you can imagine the costs would skyrocket if we asked, for like one of those pieces in Colorado Springs, Pueblo, Douglas County. For now, the Postal Service said we can put one in Denver, locate other locations in the future to be determined.
Okay,
So I don't know that that's the only reason, but I think it's a reason.
good reason I involved.
Yeah.
Got a question back.
Sir.
Yeah, I'm curious as to the tax implications for the zip code, and whether that takes revenue away from West Cliff.
That's what it does. Silver Cliff didn't get to collect the tax.
Yeah, I will, if I can.
You better.
I know speaking for Silver Cliff, I guess, Silver Cliff has historically had lower sales tax revenues because companies, when we have mail order things or online order things, companies identify the zip code with West Cliff and they pay the sales tax to West Cliff, even though it's being shipped to Silver Cliff, to a resident within Silver Cliff, tax should go to Silver Cliff, so it's long been a point of contention. There have been a lot of technological changes that have, I think, remedied that to some degree, so that the impact is not as big now as it was 10 years ago, but it's still a big impact for the town of Silver Cliff in that people are ordering, buying things, paying a sales tax, and that sales tax is going to West Cliff and not to Silver Cliff.
Any idea what the magnitude of that number is?
I don't know. I can tell you, again, it's not as big as it once was. I think we were talking in at least the tens of thousands of dollars a few years ago. I think we're probably still talking to some degree in the tens of thousands. We might have been even into the hundreds of thousands over time, but I don't think it's as big now as it once was, but it's still a concern now. So,
Thank you.
Thanks, Dave.
Any other questions?
When does Brittany plan on being up here next? And I know that kind of depends on new child and all that. Yeah.
True. Also, the congressional schedule is much more, there's far more days on the calendar. in DC this year than in previous years,
Okay.
or at least in the last 2 years during her term.
Okay.
They've, you know,
Been in session more.
yeah, they'll be in session far more weeks throughout the year.
Okay.
So TBD, but
Okay.
we're already trying to plan it out so that we can, you know, try to put some stability into the schedule a bit.
Okay. All right. No.
You might mention that there's what do they call it, congressionally directed, but items that
Yes.
have been done. Tell them what, from your point of view, she's done a couple things for Silver Cliff. Also, we look forward to Hickenlooper and the other senators in their efforts to help counties out, or different people, so.
Yeah, thank you for
Once you
reminding me,
put it-
Commissioner Diff. The town of Silver Cliff last year for the fiscal year '24 was awarded 1.3, the number's fuzzy, but $1.3 million is what I recall, to build a town plaza that would host, you know, multiple businesses and what have you, just over by is it the Family Dollar or Dollar General?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes,
okay,
both
okay. You know the
there.
Okay,
Two of them.
so nonetheless, that was signed by the president, so that is law. What we're doing to get those dollars out to Silver Cliff is making sure that there aren't any barriers with the agency they've been working with. Sorry, I'm spacing. If it's USDA or HH, no, I can't recall.
The USDA.
Yeah, so we've been in touch with Mayor Buck quite a bit on making sure he's got what he needs to get those funds into action here in Custer County. Return some tax dollars to the people.
Anybody else? Thank you, Justin.
Yeah, sorry, my last bit, I should have started with this. Congratulations, Paul, on your swearing in, and look forward to working with you.
He's the other one too.
You were sworn in as well?
Yeah.
Oh, my apologies. Yeah,
No problem.
congrats on the,
It's
He's not
okay.
new, he's
I'm old
just-
already.
golly, how's it feel to be old news now?
Just fine, just fine. Old news is good.
Well, I'm gonna take my leave and head over to
Yeah, we'll see you over there. You might mention what's going on over there.
Yeah.
Veterans.
So the Veterans Connection, that's Mount Carmel, largely puts that on. They have Sylvista there, they have just all the groups that help the veterans. American Legion's represented there, the VFW. A lot of times Justin or Stacy is there from time to time, so just representing everybody in kind of a round table with how can we help the veterans of this community. So that'll takes place from 10 to 1 o'clock, so just tell them the commissioner may be a little late, so thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Anybody else? Comments?
Here, Jim McMahon. Lucas, now, did your last service, did that count as a full term?
No, just as the year and 5 months.
He served out the remaining.
So you served out, and that's what I was getting at, so you could possibly run again?
He can run,
Possibly, yeah.
he can run 2
I mean,
more
it's
full terms.
legally, it's possible, is that right?
Yes. That's why I have 7 now. I came in on one that had 1 extra year. On a recall. Okay, one other item I'll bring up is we had a death in our family, bringing up Silver Cliff and the town clerk of Silver Cliff, Eileen Squire. So very sad, and heard their condolences are with us all.
Not Eileen Squire.
Not Eileen, I'm sorry.
I was like,
Eileen Squire's daughter.
Yeah, not Eileen Squires.
Yeah, her daughter passed away yesterday.
Yeah.
So it's,
You had us scared there for a second.
yeah, no, Eileen did not.
Okay.
But because she's on my mind, because I just talked to her before I came in here, and then I talked to the other members of the family. So they're good, they've been long-term families in the valley here. Matter of fact, dating back to the initial settlers.
What daughter died?
Chantel,
Chantel?
yeah.
Yeah.
See, the curator.
Yeah, no, I know who she is. How did she die?
They don't know for sure, kind of a seizure, kind of a thing that
Oh
happened.
my gosh.
We don't know.
Oh, that's horrible.
So Our condolences are with them, and it's a sad time, and I did talk to Laura Blockhart, who we're gonna go pat on the back. It's kinda tough to have her celebrate a retirement with a family member. When somebody loses a child, it's the worst thing in the world. Can't imagine.
She was like 20, 30 something.
30,
29.
odd circumstance. Anyway, so Eileen won't be back at work for a while. Anyway, wanted to make sure you had the pass your condolences along, fine. Be great. They're setting up a fund to help defray some of the costs of the funeral. That's gonna come up. If we can help, we will.
Total surprise.
Yeah. Anybody else? Any other comments? With that, we'll adjourn the meeting at 9:50. Thanks, everybody.
Good job.